Welcome to the Red Raider Coaches Show. I'm your host, Shane Bennett. I'm here with Coach Cofer, and we're going to talk a little bit about Lanier County and what we did good, bad, and then we're going to get into Pierce County a little bit later in the show. First, Coach, we're going to talk about week one, the good and the bad, the ugly, as far as your first week here, coming here, first regular season game, how things went as far as preparing for the week, what you had to do. I know you're in two different locations. Everything went into week one getting prepared.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, you know, we're coming over here to go to school, still working at the new stadium and old field house over there. But things are good. You know, we're used to that. It's not a big deal driving the bus 2 or 3 minutes down the road and getting them here first block. But preparation was the same. We've been working towards the first game, you know, the whole summer and in spring. So nothing's different. Nothing's changed. We still going to work, and we're finally going to get over here probably next week, by the beginning of next week, for the Charlton game, and have all our stuff over here. That'll be nice. That'll be good for you know, us to just be able to practice here and play here at the same time. But it's not a big deal for us. We're kind of used to it.
Well, I know things are a little bit different, and the new coaching staff and all that as far as week one, getting used to the way things, you know, you got the churches that cook for you and stuff like that. You
right.
want to talk a little bit about
I'm
a Church of God this week?
Yeah, I'm a Church of God, fed us. It was very good food. First Baptist Church, Mountain. You know, feeding us breakfast every Friday morning. That's something new for me and the coaches that are new on the staff. You know, the kids have been doing that, but these churches don't have to do that, but they go out of their way to feed these kids and just take time out of their day, you know, and feeding these kids and just doing stuff like that. But also want to thank Mr. James Miles. Mr. James Miles, you know, gives us Powerades before every game, 2 big old coolers full to try to keep these kids hydrated throughout the game, halftime, before the game, and it has been a big help with us because we have a lot of kids that go both ways out there on the field and have to play a lot of special teams. Also wanted to throw out one other thing is the cheerleading sponsors and all the cheerleaders that brought food and drinks and Powerades this past Friday, and I think they're going to probably continue to do that every Friday. Brought some snacks for the kids, bubble gum. They don't have to do that, and they did that for the guys and for the coaches. You didn't know you were doing it for the coaches, but we stole some of it too. But Miss Bordeaux and Miss Flowers, we sure do appreciate it, and cheerleaders, we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do that for these boys, and just very appreciative. Like I said many times before, all kinds of support here in Alma, and coaching staff very much appreciates it.
Well, Coach, the boys, I know it's been a long summer. Well, actually, it feels like it's been a short summer with everything going on, but for the boys, as far as practice and stuff, getting used to, acclimated to the early practice and stuff. This week one, I know it was a build-up. You know, the KRO and the ATCO was scrimmage. I mean, they were football, but they weren't like real thing. How do the boys' temperament this week, getting ready and building up to this first
game? You know, I mean, it was the real game. You know, we had some text. You know, these kids will text us as far as the coaches go, and coaches text them back and all that. They're talking about it's for real this week. It really didn't change practice-wise. You know, we try to keep that same intensity. You know, we crank the stereo up. Anybody over there by the high school hears us at 5:15 in the morning, cranking the stereo up right there. But, you know, the intensity stays the same. We're going to push them the same. So to me, it felt the same, except just that being that first real game. I think it probably grabbed a hold of us that Friday, you know, when we played. And once we got there, of course, I'm always nervous. It doesn't matter if it's a scrimmage game or not. So it was basically the same to me. I got nervous on the 2 scrimmage games. So we treat those just like games too, just trying to get our kids ready and the coaches ready for those kind of situations.
Well, after week one, as far, and we'll get into the game in a second, but just before we break in this first break here, did any injury updates that we want to talk about from Lanier or anything that we need to just going to hold over for?
Right, little bumps and bruises here, that like every other team in the state of Georgia has after, you know, week to week. But Ignacio Washington, big man, you know, been without him for the past couple of weeks. Hoping to get him back real soon, but we want him taken care of, make sure all the issues are taken care of right there. And he's wanted to play this past week, wants to play against Pierce County this coming week, but we're going to see what the doctor says. And, you know, until he gets released, we're going to play it safe and plan to play without him. But he's a big piece of this puzzle. I'm going to shout out to him right there. Can't wait for Big Man to get back.
Yeah, he's excited. Ran to the hall today. He's excited about getting back. Well, Coach, we'll take a quick break and we'll come back and we'll break down offense and defense and from Lanier County, how we did as far as taking it up another step next week in the first real game. We'll be right back after this quick message. Welcome back, and again, we want to another person we want to thank is Wilcox Communication. They help us with our broadband, transmitting these internet streaming games when we're out of town. So we want to thank Wilcox Communication especially for that. Coach, jumping right into Lanier County, 34-13. It's a win. A win's a win's a win, as you say. And I know there was a lot of stuff that you want to do better. You thought you could do better, but there was a lot of stuff that did get better, and we've gotten better each week. We've got 386 total yards for Bacon and 158 for Lanier. You want to kind of go through the offense and defense, and we'll talk more specifically.
Yeah.
About it.
Well, let's talk defense first. Thought that really stuck out in my mind and probably everybody's mind is kids flying to the football. Mm-hmm. A lot of jerseys around the football about every play. Had to chase an elusive quarterback. When I was at Lanier coaching a few years back, that little quarterback was our water boy. Didn't know that until after the game. Good kid though, and he was hard to catch. So if anything, that gives our defense a little bit of history with chasing a quarterback and having to do that. But he was hard to catch. Did a great job. I thought our special teams did a good job chasing, flying to the football. That's what I noticed about our defense. Coach Langford, Coach Wilson, Coach Williams do a great job with that. Preparing for each week and getting these kids on task right there. I thought that was our bright spot. Now, they did drive the ball down there and take about 6.5 minutes off the clock right there at the end of the game to score a touchdown. And trying the extra point, didn't really understand that at the end, but single A, it has to have the power rankings. And they needed that extra point to try to climb up it, even with a loss. I get into offensively. That's where I kind of go down a little bit right there. Did some good things. The effort in the second half I thought was a lot better than the first half. In certain areas I thought we looked gassed in the first half. Not as much effort as we could have, just making some mental mistakes in the first and the second half. You can't turn the ball over and beat good teams, the teams that we're trying to beat and get in the playoffs and play. You can't do it. They sure can't do it this coming week or the next week, the next two opponents that we have. You just can't. And so we're trying to work on that right quick. And kids have been doing a good job with it. It's just when we get going, they're sweaty, ball's a little wet, but everybody has to deal with that.
Right.
That's not an excuse. And, we kind of got upset because we didn't score 50. We're not trying to run the score up on anybody, but we want to set that bar high here. We want to break the season scoring record here at Bacon County High School. We're going to set some standards and some goals for us to do that. We want to have 400 yards, at least 400 yards of offense a game. We want to do that. We want to move the ball. We want to score on defense and special teams. Just have to make the little catches. We had some drops. We talk great about a superior athlete. Mr. Tron Folsom does a great job for us. It's probably one of the most coachable kids I've ever been around. I didn't think that was going to be the case when I first moved here, and I just talked to him today and bragged on him. He is the most coachable kid. He doesn't say anything back. if I get on his tail about it. But Tron goes up and makes a great catch, runs about 10 yards and drops the football. And, he hates it just as bad as anybody else. He's embarrassed by it, and he wants to improve. That's how good a kid he is. But we just can't have any kind of drops, anything like that. We have to make those little simple, fundamental catches and runs, and even making a pocket for a handoff. You got to do it. Good snaps every time. You can't have a bad snap. So, all that comes into play. Do want another bright spot. Mr. Glenn Dobbins kicked 2 extra points for us right there. Had an opportunity for another one, but there was a bad snap on the extra point and did get to do that. So we did some good things. I hate to harp on the bad things too much, but we want to be as close to perfect as we can. That's what's going to get us in the playoffs and make that deep run like we want to do. So we're not just, we're not talking about round 1 and getting beat. That's not what our goal is. We want to make a deep run in the playoffs, and good things can happen when you do that. But we'll get better, and we are getting better week to week. We want to take another step up this week. So.
Well, I know one of the Achilles' heels in the past, and even the first year's been special teams, been working on that. You were saying earlier, or we've talked earlier, that the Georgia high schools changed some of the rules on the kickoff, and that kind of changed some stuff for you.
Yeah, we talked. We had a scrimmage game against Atco. A set of officials told us one thing that we could do, so we thought we had it worked out. We go to Cairo, another set of officials tells us something different, and we get to Lanier, and they tell us something totally different. We had some good kickoffs right there with 2 different kickers. They're on the field at the same time. We're going to work it out where we can do that, try to play tricks and stuff like that. We want to make a return team. We want to make the other team practice for everything that we do. We want to make them work a little bit longer and study that. And it's simple for us because we've been doing it since the summer. So we're working on all this, but it's different rules about keeping 4 men on the side of the kicker on both sides of the field. And we're trying to work it out where we can kind of approach the ball with 2 kickers and you don't know where the ball is going. So we're still working on it, and we'll get it. But we had to change it before the game started. So wasn't as organized as we wanted it.
All right. And another thing that we talk about is the offense. You never run 2-minute offense. We're talking about the quickness and the repetitiveness of getting the play in, getting it on, and getting it up. You said you're still working on that.
Yeah, we're still working on it, and it doesn't happen overnight. When I got the job right here, I made a big deal out of it. Still going to make a big deal because that's what we want to do. We want to get that speed where we're running the play. Probably once the whistle's blown by the official within the next 5 to 10 seconds. 10 seconds is probably too long. We need to snap the ball. It's just getting that organized and getting mental about who I'm supposed to block, where I'm supposed to run the ball, how I'm supposed to take the snap, or who I'm supposed to throw it to. It's got to be that way, and it's got to be like clockwork. But we want to do it where the kids don't have to think whatsoever. That comes with practice. That comes with time. So the first, the Atco game, we were running pretty fast. Cairo, we did it pretty fast on certain occasions, and we kind of slowed down a little bit against Lanier. There were certain occasions where we went faster. It's going to be like that, the next week with Pierce and then Charlton and then Benedictine and so on and so on. Hopefully we'll get faster and faster as we go. But our kids have to know what to do. So if anything, we kind of took some things off the play card a little bit, made it more simple for our kids to do, so we're not having so much to think about. Like we said, we want them to play without thinking. They can have more fun with it. It's easier to do, and we can go faster. But we just dress it up with a little formation or motion. So
what's the mindset with Drill and Aubrey as far as switching them back and forth? Is it just more to give each one of them a rest, or are you thinking offensively?
Strategy there. Yeah, you got an athlete like Drell Green, can throw it, can run it, can catch it. You need him all over the field.
Right.
Well, you need to get him the ball as many times as you can. Tron Folsom's the same way. Got 3 running backs that are the same way. Anthony Florence, Jacob Carver, and Wesley Cawthorn. You got those. Then I got another quarterback, Aubrey Carter, that can throw it all over the field. He's getting better and better each week. He graded the highest out of all the offensive skill people. Did a great job this week, and I was probably on him worse than anybody during the game. And Aubrey's gotten to where he can take me pretty good. And but using Drell and Aubrey in different situations, there's just times. Now, times we want to leave Drell out there a whole series. The problem is that Drell's playing some special teams and he's on defense. Our best 11 people are on defense. That's what we're going to do here. We're going to put our best 11 athletes on defense. Now, we take the leftovers, that sounds bad, but we take a lot of those skilled people, we take some of those linemen that play. Now, we got a lot of kids that play both ways too, but we try to, just kind of alternate them in and out. We played 12 defensive linemen Friday night, which I thought was superb. Didn't know that until our Sunday meeting, and Coach Langford let me know that. But Drell's got to touch the ball, but I need him at receiver too. And he's going to get a chance to run it as a running back sometimes. He got to run it, broke the first play for, I think, 58 yards, and, just scat it. So we just got to put him in some different situations. When Aubrey's back there, now we have that threat to run or throw. Now, Drell can throw it too, but that just took a great receiver out of the ball game. So if you put him on one side, then you got Tron over there on the other side, and Aubrey throwing it, plus the run threats back there in the backfield, we have more weapons. So he does that. Plus, that kid's going to play college football one day. He's all over the field. He's listed as an athlete, and he's a heck of an athlete. So he's going to play DB. Sometimes you'll see him up at almost like a linebacker playing defense. You'll see him at receiver, running back, quarterback. So he's all over the field. So if anything, he's getting looks from everywhere. We're trying to get him all kinds of big scholarship offers too. And he's a great kid to be able to do that. He has bought into what we're asking him to do. Not trying to have any kind of controversy. There is no quarterback controversy. Both of them have bought into the system right here and doing what we're asking them to do. And it's been successful. We just got to keep working. But I got to rest Drell sometimes.
Right, and it seems to be working so far. And I think your biggest thing was to get better each week, and so far that's what's happening.
Right.
So, all right, Coach, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back. We're going to talk about this upcoming week with Pierce County. We'll be right back after this message. All right, welcome back. Coach, we're going to talk about week 2. I'm going to say it out loud, Pierce County. And I know it's a big game for the community, but ultimately it's game 2 in our schedule. It's a non-region game. It's a game we need to win. It's a game we need to improve.
Right.
So how do you as a coach, I know coming in as not being from here, handle the hype and all the other stuff that goes with a big rivalry game to keep the kids where they're focused and where they need to be as far as win the football game first and foremost?
Right. Yeah, we played Pierce where the last place I was, and it was a playoff game, which was good. I had to go over there and play. But when I got here, got the job, and came to school in the weight room, that's all I heard about. Wore a little blue windbreaker one day, and they jumped all over me for wearing blue. That's a good part of a rivalry. I'm sure they do the same thing over there in Blackshear. Yeah, I don't want to say it's just another game. It's a rival game.
Right.
But like I said earlier, we prepare the same way, whether it's a scrimmage or a game. We're going to go all out on everything that we do. If we don't, we're going to get on that line, we're going to run. And the kids know that. They got to get themselves right to do that. I'm sure everybody else in the state's doing the same thing. But not preparing anything like that. What you got to do in a rival game like this, where it's going to be packed, I hear, is you got to control your emotions. That's what you got to do. You're going to be on emotional high. Pierce County will be the same way. Who's going to control those emotions the best? That's coaches, that's players. You got to perform under those lights, and you got to do it in front of all those people and both sides of the fence right there and all the way around the field. And you just got to perform and see who's going to keep their sanity right there. So, that's what it's about. That's what preparation is about all week, is getting that stuff done and preparing it. We prepare for noise, probably better than anybody does, and it's very loud every morning. And so noise should not be a factor for us whatsoever. It's just doing the little things and playing fundamental football. We think we're in good shape if we play fundamental football and do the little things right.
What's the demeanor of the boys right now as far as going into this week 2? After Lanier going into Pierce, where do you say they stand?
Well, coming off a win is coming off a win. It's an emotional high. They're going to have a little bit of swagger about them, but we want to have that swagger a little bit higher than what we got. When we say swagger, we're not talking about being cocky. We're just talking about that confidence, that exudes confidence when we walk out on the field that we expect to win. That's what we want here. And I think we got the kids to do it with. We got some good athletes. We got some good-hearted kids. We got heart. These are probably, as a whole, best kids I've ever coached right here. And that's attitude. That's doing what you say. It's no mouth. It's just, let's do it. But we want that swagger, and we got to get it. And this is the type of game right here that can catapult us into in a different category right there and give our kids some more confidence and work a little bit different. But we've been getting after it. Kids have been getting after it. We didn't have the best ending to practice today. Defensively, we did. It was offensively, and that's not necessarily the kids' fault. That's my fault for trying a little bit of something new the past 2 days, and it might be too much for us to do going into a rival game right there. And we'll continue to just do what we do and get better at what we do. You can add all kinds of junk that you want to, and you think you're getting ready, and it might end up hurting you in the game. So we want to do what we think we can do. Going in there, we're not going to do anything crazy. So I say that, and we went for it on 4th and 7. We're going to go for it on 4th downs. We want our kids to have that confidence, but we're going to get better at what we've been doing in the past 3 weeks.
Well, I know you're not going to give out any details, but offensively and defensively, where do you think we're stacking up, and what is the key to the game, do you think, in your opinion?
Yeah, well, Pierce County has some running backs that we need to stop. We'll play things a little bit different to contain them. Won't go into anything further than that. They're noted for their passing game. They got some new quarterbacks that play. Got a couple of guys that play back there. And that's the thing, is you got to prepare for 2. So, we'll prepare for their passing game just like we did way back in 2011 when we played them in the playoffs back at Cook. But, won't be any different than that. But, they do what they do well, just like any team that we play. So that's defensively, that's what we got to do. Offensively, we're probably going to see some different looks. They got a new defensive coordinator. And so we'll have to we'll have to go against that different look. Like I said many times before, for some reason, everybody plays us a little bit different. Oh, Coach Cofer's got something that's a bunch of tendencies. So we end up breaking a lot of tendencies against somebody else. So we'll have to figure out what they're doing on the run. It's not anything new that we haven't been doing the past 3 or 4 years. We'll just have to figure it out on the run, what they're going to do, how they're going to handle us, and we're going to have to figure out who those key players for them on defense are. Same thing with special teams as well. We're going to have to find out who those key returners are, which we already know, but we're going to have to keep the ball away from those guys right there that can be dangerous for us. So we're not going to play it safe, so to speak, not playing our game. We want to play the way we want to set the tone. We want to play the way we want to play. We're not going to let somebody else dictate what we do. We're going to do what we do defensively. We're going to be aggressive. They got some things to combat defenses that are aggressive. They did it to us in 2011 a couple of times. So we'll have to make some adjustments there. But offensively, same thing. It doesn't matter who we play. We want to be aggressive, go after somebody just like we do in life, and take it. Nobody's going to hand us a dang thing, so we got to go take it. So, they're going to try to take it from us. We're going to try to take it from them. We're going to see who comes out on top about 10:30 on Friday night.
Hopefully be before then. So.
Yes, sir.
All right, towing costs, we deferring or we taking right to them?
Oh, well, we don't make any secrets about it. We trying to run offensive plays, and we want to set the tone right there. We want our kids aggressive. So kids don't even have to ask me. They know what we want every time. We're going to take the football every time. And, most teams are going to defer, and they want to defer for the second half. Shoot, no, man. We want as many offensive plays as we can get, so we're going to take the ball as many times. It's kind of like in 7-on-7. You want the ball as many other times. We want the same thing. We want to get accustomed to playing offense and getting out there and trying to take advantage of the defense. So we want our kids to have that same attitude.
Well, I think they do. It's evident when you walk in this weight room and in practice and stuff. So, Coach, good luck next Friday.
Thank you.
This Friday, I should say. Starting a new tradition here. Things are looking good. Friday night, we did mention earlier, it was great to see the kids, football players after the game, walk over to the band playing Alma Mater and going through the whole. It was just good. It's traditions. They're starting a class act as coach and staff and the kids we got here. So we want to thank you for your support, and we will be back next Monday with that on regular time because of the holidays this week. We're a little bit off, but we'll be back next Monday at normal time, 8 o'clock, and we will hopefully be talking about a win over the P team.